Don't try, just do.
First real channel, first real video on their channel. Today's topic is discipline and consistency. Something I believe I mastered and a lot of people struggle with for whatever reason. Let me not say that, that's rude. Not for whatever reason, but it can be a difficult thing once you pick up something to stay consistent and disciplined and reap the rewards. Reap the rewards. Oftentimes when people start a new habit or they start doing something and they want to reap the rewards. Say you're going to the gym, you're working out, you want the dream body, or you want the athletic goal you're trying to achieve. Maybe you want to jump this high, run this fast, or run for this long. Or you start learning a new language, and you're trying to achieve that goal. A lot of people start the process very excited and working very hard, full intensity, but very quickly they lose momentum. They lose motivation, then they lose momentum. And once they lose momentum, they become inconsistent until they inevitably stop. And then they don't reach a goal and they get disappointed. Or they expect results too quickly and they stop and they don't get disappointed. And I think I've understood this thing of discipline and consistency. And I don't mean to talk with arrogance when I say that. I just mean to give some advice. Or at least if I was giving advice to a younger version of me. So when you pick up a new habit or new discipline or new hobby and you wish to make improvements, you have a goal. Okay, I'm starting to learn a new language. I want to be fluent in 6 weeks. Okay, I'm bringing something. But let's say, in fact, scratch that. When you pick up a new habit or when you take up a new hobby or when you just do something because you have a certain goal in mind, like learning a new language or fitness goals, for example. First of all, set a realistic goal for yourself. What does that mean? If it's realistic, it must be, I think the acronym is SMART. It must be specific. So if don't just say fitness goal, I want to go get fit, you don't know what you mean. So let's say, oh, I want abs. Or it's a different goal. Maybe you're playing football or you're playing basketball and you want to be able to get 35-inch vertical. Okay, I want a 35-inch max vertical. So it must be specific. Then it must be measurable. So if it's measurable, that means you should be able to break the entire objective down into much smaller mini goals so that you know, okay, I know the goal, the reasonable goal, we'll get to that later, but I know the goal I want for myself. I want to jump. I want to, let's stick with the language. I want to learn a new language within 2 years, 24 months. Okay, what's the goal I have within 12 months? What's the goal I have within 6 months? What's the goal I have within 3 months? What's the goal I have weekly and daily? Okay, weekly, I want to learn 3 new words. Okay, maybe five. 5 new words. I want to have that memorized so I can remember. And weekly goals, I want to learn how to conjugate 5 new verbs. So it must be measurable and you must be able to measure those specific objectives you set, even the smaller ones. And then it must be achievable. So if you know you're a slow learner and you can achieve 5 new verbs and 3 new nouns in a no, not 3 new nouns. Let's say 3 new words in a day. So that's 21. That's 21 new words in a week, and 5 of those must be verbs you know how to conjugate completely. If that's not achievable for you, don't set that goal. You must be flexible, change that goal, be able to adjust it so you're able to achieve it. So SMART. That's SMA. Smart, measurable, and achievable. And then R is reasonable. Again, kind of ties into achievable. Don't say you want six pack in 6 weeks and you know you're fat. I mean, I'm not trying to be harsh, but don't try and set that because you're gonna get super high. You're super hyped. The first week you might be training really hard. The second week really hard. Halfway through the third week you'll be tired. You'll be blown out, and then before you know it, you'll just give up. So now, not only will you have stopped making progress and canceled all the momentum you had for that goal of getting six packs, but for getting six pack abs, but you will also not even complete the 6 weeks, so you won't even make that 6 week progress, even if it's not enough progress for you to be satisfied. You'll also never get there because you stopped full stop. So you're eventually going to get back to doing whatever you're doing, stay fat, and then reverse all the progress you made. So that's why it has to be reasonable. So that's SMAR, which was specific, measurable, achievable, and reasonable. And the last one is time. It must be time specific, time bound. Sorry, I cheated. I had to get the notes out. But yeah, like I said, remember when I was talking about the language example? When I said it should be, when I said you should have three new verbs you should be able to conjugate weekly if your goal is to learn a language and be fluent within 24 months. Remember, you must break down those goals, but they must also be time specific. So let's say in a week, you need to be able to pick up three new words a day. That's 21 new words a week, and then have them memorized. Of those 21 new words, five of them must be a verb which you can conjugate completely. Remember, English is a simple language, so I'm just giving examples. But other languages, a verb looks completely different when it's conjugated, depending on the pronoun. And you must have that in the present tense, past tense, future tense, the different types of past tense and future tense, and present continuous tense, whatever. If that's too difficult, adjust the goal. Maybe you want to be able to do that for only one verb, or you only want to be able to memorize seven new words a day. But then the overall objective of being fluent in a language in 2 years, which is 24 months, might have to change for 5 years. But the point is, the goal should be smart. So that's specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and time bound. And people can give you all these weird hacks, but people still aren't gonna be consistent with their goals. So keeping with the theme of the video, which is discipline and consistency, I think one of the very first points is making it a part of your lifestyle. That's why it mustn't be too strenuous or difficult, because it's gonna be something you do for 30 days or 60 days. It's gonna be tiring. It's gonna become a huge part of your day, and you're gonna quit very soon. So you should make it a part of your lifestyle, because if it's a part of your lifestyle, very soon that habit, I think they say 33 or 61 days, whichever one it is. If you do that long enough, it will become a natural habit you don't even think about. It's just a part of you. It's just a part of your daily routine. It's just a part of your weekly routine. However, you choose to set that goal or that thing you're chasing after. And once you do that, you can actually finish what you started. Because that's a huge problem with consistency. Sorry. People don't like to finish what they start. Once you start something, you have to finish it. How can you finish it? Don't make it too difficult. Make it a part of your lifestyle. Make it reasonable. Make it that like a smart goal, like we were saying, whatever you're trying to achieve. And when it comes to making small improvements, that's why when you're making a small goal, you shouldn't like the whole six pack story. Don't exercise and then look every day. Oh, am I getting abs? No, you're not gonna see it every day. You might not see it every week, but just find a way of making small improvements and be content with making small improvements and fall in love with the process itself of getting to that objective. Because as you do that, you'll make sure you're able to keep it as a lifestyle. And if you do that, you can also finish what you started. And if you do that, it's only a matter of time before you accomplish the goal you're trying to achieve in the first place. So just keep doing that. And once more, you have to be honest with yourself. A lot of people like to make cheap excuses. Like, oh, I'm tired, I was reading a lot today, I had to study, I don't really. Sorry, that video cut off. As I was saying, discipline is it's very important. It's about doing things when you don't want to do them, doing things when you don't feel like doing them day in and day out. Because if you're consistent, to always make those small progressions. Let's compare you and another person. If another person only does things when they feel them, their progression is like this, they're going up and down because they keep eliminating their own momentum. They keep having to restart. They keep having, they keep losing time Meanwhile, you just focus on making the small improvements over time. Over time, you and that person, the gap will increase and you'll just become better and better and better and better. So you really can't make cheap excuses. And if you're struggling not to make cheap excuses with yourself, think of it this way. That goal you set, I think I heard Kobe saying this. When you decide to take on a goal, when you say I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna start doing this thing, and you know it's gonna be a struggle, think of it as you making a promise and signing a contract to suffer for the sake of your future self.
You're out running on the track, working out, and you start talking to yourself, saying, "Man, my knee is really sore right now. Maybe I'm maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I need to back off. Man, my lungs are burning. Maybe I can just slow down here. I'll do like an extra 2 sets tomorrow. It'll be okay, right? That sort of stuff. Like that stuff's dangerous, and that's you just gotta say, you know what? I'm not negotiating with myself. The deal was already made. Deal was made when I set out at the beginning of the summer and said, "This is the training plan I'm doing." I signed that contract with myself. I'm doing it. Throughout that process, you'll start talking to yourself like, "Man, I think I need to. Maybe if we, nope, this is non-negotiable." Non-negotiable. Yeah.
So obviously when you're in the struggle, when you're in the midst of it, working out it's painful, it's uncomfortable, or being tired, being sleepy, not wanting to read, and yet still opening up that new language book or going on Duolingo or talking to a tutor, whatever you do to learn a new language, you'd still have to, when you're tired, you'd still have to remind yourself, listen, my past self signed a contract that holds me obligated to achieve this objective so that my future self can reap the rewards of a six-pack or learning a new language, for example. So you can't make cheap excuses with yourself. And like I said, as you're trying to appreciate the process itself and enjoy the process, because when you go on such a journey, you can become very focused and fixated on the end goal itself, on the destination itself, that you end up hating it. And if you hate it, you won't do it properly. You won't do things with intention. So the quality of your daily progress will lack intention and it will lack quality, and you won't be able to get where you can get to. You won't achieve your maximum potential. So take the time sometimes when you're in the middle of that journey to appreciate the journey itself. Maybe a little bit more than the destination, because that teaches you a lot of who you are. And actually stop and turn around and look at the progress you've made so far. Okay, I'm not fluent in the language yet, but I can hold a conversation for 5 minutes in that language. 6 months ago I couldn't. Okay, maybe I'm halfway through, it's a year now. I can't make jokes in that language yet, but I can get around. If I was dropped in that country, I could go buy myself some food. I could get a hotel. I could pay my bills. Maybe I can't get a job, but I can move around and I can do what I need to. And then enjoy that goal and then keep moving. So your hard work, your discipline, and your consistency should not be dependent on your motivation, because you will not always be motivated. If you're lucky, you'll be motivated half of the time. But you should try and maintain your motivation, because that does make things more sustainable and you do things better. So just place your joy and your fulfillment in the journey rather than the destination. And to give this a Christian to give this some Christian flavor. No, that's bad. Actually, the Christian principle I think of is work is good. Hard work is good. Hard work is not a curse we inherited after the fall. The fall being after Eve ate the apple and the sin entered the world and it became cursed and now everything's difficult and bad. No, work is something good. Work is something God does, and we are made in the image of God. And there was work before the fall. So that's why we know work is good, and even in God's perfect world, in God's utopian world that He made beforehand, that we destroyed and that He'll make afterwards, we know work and discipline is good. Adam was meant to tend to the garden. He was a glorified gardener of the Garden of Eden, and he was meant to tend to it daily. And the Bible reproaches people who are lazy. I think it's somewhere in Proverbs. I'll put that verse in. I'll also put that verse in the screen. But hard work is necessary, and to work hard, you need to be disciplined and consistent. So, just look at my notes. Don't mind me. But yes, you need to be disciplined. You need to be disciplined and consistent to work hard and to achieve those goals and to do whatever you need to do. And the opposite of being lazy is being hardworking. And biblically, being lazy is a sin. I'll show the verses as reference. And discipline and consistency is necessary in order to stay in anything or to stay doing anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If it was of value to you, please like and share. If not, I'll be happy with just a simple subscription. Bye. Thank you.